Hi, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Pangea Torchiere. This is the 241109. So I happen to have my showroom sample that just came in, and it's all in parts here. We're going to talk about how to put it together, how it's made, and lots of great little details. So let's dive in. Let's talk about the specs on it first. So overall height on this is coming in at 83.4, so it's a pretty tall fixture. This is the metal shade for it. So when it's that high, that's going to be the very top of the shade itself, which is going to keep you, unless you're incredibly tall, from being able to see over the top of this and seeing that bulb. So it's a nice tall fixture. What it does is it throws light up on your ceiling. Hopefully you have a white ceiling. That light will bounce off that white ceiling, and it'll bathe the entire room in a nice warm ambient light, and that's the whole point. So this is something that can light an entire room, and we'll get into what it can do with that. Okay, so we said it was 83.4 inches tall. The diameter of the shade is coming in at 21.7. The base on this is coming in, and this is very heavy. This is coming in at 28 pounds, and the base is 10.5 inches. And the center of gravity obviously is the middle. So what happens is it's going to be hard for your little kids or your grandkids or dogs or whatever to knock this thing over. It's very substantial, just so you know. Okay, so moving on from there, why don't we talk about a couple other things. Let's talk about how to put it together, and to show you how to do that, let's go look at the installations instructions right now. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen. Midway down you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations, instructions, PDF. So open that up for me. It is going to show you a full parts list. Here you go. Here are your parts. It's going to show you how to put it together. I happen to have the same sheets printed out right here. So this is what you're going to be looking at, and you can look at them now. So it's very simple to put this thing together. You basically have, this is the top of it with your socket and these little knurled balls that are going to attach to your shade. The bottom of this has a wire, two wires, a positive and a negative. They're going to feed through a center pipe, very substantial. You know, Hubbardton does not skimp on anything. And there's beautiful threading on the inside of this, and there's threading on the bottom of this and the top of the base. So it's going to allow this thing to go together. And their tolerances when they do these things, tolerances are basically talking about the engineering, are super tight. So it's going to be even hard to see that there's a seam going up. So you're going to feed the wires through this pipe, and it's empty, see? And then you're going to basically attach it to this part here, and you're going to screw it together, and you're essentially done. It is that simple. And then after that's all done, you're just going to put the top on, put the shade on, okay? So easy to see. Let's get into some other cool things about it. So let's talk about the cord on it. So this has got a really long cord to begin with. It's also kind of a silvery, it's a clear wood. You can see the silver wires through it. So it looks awesome. It's kind of a contemporary look. This is 12 feet long, which is great if you want to move this away from a sofa, or you put it in a corner or something. You get a lot of play with this. The on-off switch is actually on the cord, so there's no on-off switch on the fixture itself. It's called a floor dimmer, not a dimmer, but a floor on-off switch, and you can use your foot just to tap it and turn it on and off. Now, a question's going to come up: is this a dimmable fixture? And the answer is absolutely. Sure, it's dimmable. And the easy way to do that is just to buy what's called an inline dimmer, and you can pick them up at Ace Hardware, Home Depot. They're very inexpensive. I'll actually have a link on our website for this down below the description to show you what they look like. They're easy to get, and you basically can just leave this on the on position, this one, right, that guy, and then you can use the other on-off dimmer as your main switch. So it's really up to you, and you can get it basically look the way it is. And it would actually allow you to have this even longer. So if you wanted to put all that stuff under a chair or under a sofa, then you can hide all of it, and it's a great way to do all of this. Okay, so moving on, why don't we talk about what's going on as far as the shade on this. So you'll notice on the finishes, you got a pull-down menu that says choose your accent. This is your accent. So this is a forged shade. It's forged down like this. Has some holes in the top where it connects to that guy, and then this is all laser cut all the way around. It's really beautifully done. So it's a piece of art in its own right. Okay, so when you notice on the choose your finishes, you're going to be able to choose a finish for the fixture. That's going to be your main finish. Choose a finish for your shade. You can do contrasting finishes like I did. I did black here and I did soft gold here. I thought that was a nice combo. But you can do whatever you like, and you can do the whole thing in one finish, which I think would be equally pretty. Then you kind of put the emphasis on the design of the fixture and not on the finish of the metal. Okay, let's talk about what's going on inside of this, because that's going to be pretty important to a lot of you guys. Using a medium base socket, just like that. The recommended bulb size is an A19. That's just a standard size light bulb. If you want to stick with an incandescent bulb, you can do that. 60 watt max for just an old incandescent. But if you want to go LED, you can go crazy in this. You can do whatever you want. So as long as it fits into this, and basically all these bulbs I played around with, and there's a whole bunch of them here. These are all different types of bulbs, and these are all LEDs, mind you. But they all fit. That's another A19. That's an old school one. The one that I was holding up before is called a phosphorus one, this guy. And these actually have little phosphorus filaments inside that are kind of cool. Same deal with this one. This is a 100 watt equivalent. I picked this up, I think, at Home Depot. But you can get them anywhere. You can get these at my grocery store in Vermont. If I can find them, you can find them. When you get into the max for the LEDs, like I said, there's no max. It's really just the physical size of the LED bulb getting into this fixture in this. And really, to me, it's about how tall the bulb is and, like, will I see it? Most of you guys aren't going to even see one of these. This is a A20. This is a little bit. This is an A20. This is an A21. I can tell it's a little bigger. I can find these 100 watt equivalent, 150 watt equivalent. I can find an A21 100 watt equivalent, even up to 200 watt equivalents if I really look around a bit. And I found them out there online. So make sure it's a dimmable bulb, because it's a dimmable fixture, don't forget. And also, we talk about the color of light coming out of LEDs all the time. I always talk about how the range of Kelvin, basically, in the variants. So these are going to be offered to you in a couple different ways, a few different ways. They're going to offer these to you in 2700 Kelvin. That's a super yellow light coming out of this. They're going to offer these to you in something called daylight, and that's the one you should be a little wary of, because daylight sounds like it should be a warm light. It's not a warm light. That's that bluish white hospital waiting room light, or like a convenience store. That's going to be 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin on the Kelvin scale. What we like to use in our showroom is warm white, soft white. That mimics the light of an incandescent bulb I grew up with, and that's the nice warm light that's coming down on my hands right now from the LEDs above us. That's 3,000 Kelvin. So that would be my pick on this whole thing. So I'd probably, you know, it's so easy to get the bulbs. They're so inexpensive. You can get them everywhere. You know, any hardware store, grocery store, CVS even carries these things. I would play around and see what works for you guys. I would get a dimmable, I would probably pick up one of those dimmers at a hardware store, or maybe even online. Amazon's super easy. Again, I'll put a link to one of those on our site right under the description stuff, which I guess is down there. And you can check that out. But I would probably pick up one of those, and I'd probably pick up a 100 watt equivalent just to start off and see how it all looks. Let's get into metal finishes now. If you are on the HandmadeInVermont.com website, look over in the red tabs with the pictures in them over there. You're going to see a Finishes Help Guide tab. Open that up for me. It's going to be a video there of me talking to you guys about the differences in Hubbardton forged finishes, how they can look on different types of forging. I'm going to be referencing a chart just down below, so scroll down a little bit. You're going to see a chart. You can click on that chart, so you can click on dark smoke, you can click on soft gold, doesn't matter. Big page will pop up showing you lots of different things in that finish. You can go back to the chart and you'll notice there's letters A's on them, letter B's on some of those things, and that's going to be showing you this range of variants that you can expect to see on different translucent finishes, but I'll talk about all of that in the video, okay? Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world of Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus, you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case, and that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.